Me, myself, and I, it's all I got in the end. It's what I found out, and there ain't no need to cry. I took a vow that from now on, I'll be my own best friend. Hi, this is Delisa Hunter with American Singing Studio, where we're training voices for success. And today I'm going to talk about how to sing like Beyonce. Or more specifically, I just would like to analyze her voice. I've done a couple of these videos. You guys have asked what my thoughts are on Beyonce's voice. I'd love to talk about it. Beyonce and I are about the same age. So she came out when she was about 15 years old, high school. And I know you guys like to hear my opinion, so I'll go ahead and give it. In my opinion, I didn't think she was the best singer because I felt like her vibrato was too heavy, and I felt like her voice overall was too airy. And so it didn't really, there wasn't a balance of how heavy the vibrato was, but then the voice itself was kind of light. So it just kind of felt like it was just all vibrato, and she had that sound of, it just felt so pulsating. So she didn't really have a sense of control over her voice, but what was really cool about what she did in the late 90s was she came out with something really different, which was kind of that talky sing. She did all of that really fast stuff because, again, her vibrato was so fast and prominent. It felt like she was really just singing on that heavy vibrato. So that was really cool, and she really brought a different approach to R&B music, and I felt like she did really, really well with that. Over the years, her voice has obviously improved, and it's very clear that she's gotten a lot of great training over the past 15 or so years. I started noticing a difference in her voice, I want to say around her second album. I know the first one, I think it was Got Me Looking So Crazy Right Now, that one. Of course, it was a great album, but as far as vocally, I think she was pretty much in the same place. The only song on that album, if I'm correct, I don't really follow her career too closely, but there's a song that she did with the Luther Vandross song, The Closer I Get to You. I felt like that was the first time I really heard her voice in a very controlled environment where she was forced to kind of get outside herself and sing a little more soulful and make the lines a little bit longer, not as disjunct, as to cater to that heavy vibrato she had. She really pulled back the vibrato and gave us more tone. I felt like that was the first time that I was like, all right, go B. So after that, obviously Cadillac Records, there was a huge turn in the way that she sang, and that she learned essentially how to scream. And she took that one all the way to the bank when she did Listen and all of those songs. She really learned how to access the power in her voice. And really what was making the difference was she went from the girl who sang all of the cool songs with the all of that fast, small. It was essentially small. She was using a very small part of her voice to using a very big part of her voice and making the lines longer, fuller, more singable. So she became a much bigger ballad singer. Not that she didn't sing ballads in the past, but this time it felt like her voice belonged on ballads. Again, you heard things like everything she did on Cadillac Records, and then she did Listen, where she essentially screams on Halo and If I Were a Boy. And I'm not saying this in a bad way, but she essentially learned how to squall or scream or whatever you want to call it. And I felt like that was a huge improvement because I felt like she had learned how to support her voice better and really open her mouth in a way that really let the sound out. I was going to say something else. Oh, and the other thing that was really, really great is if you listen to her stuff from 10 years ago, you can hear how much a woman's voice matures. And this goes back to what I say all the time, and that 40 is not old. Your voice is actually reaching its peak as a woman in your mid-30s to early 40s. So just listen to how much her voice has matured. And what I love about Beyonce's voice is that she gave her voice time to mature. She didn't oversing. She didn't come in trying to be the young girl who sang old. I felt like she sang for her age and for her vocal maturity. And even now, she's singing for her vocal maturity. Her voice is still very, very high, but it's getting darker and it's just getting rounder, and it's getting fuller, and it's just getting more and more beautiful. And that's one thing I can really respect about Beyonce, is that she is definitely about her craft. She does it very, very well. And I know a lot of you say Beyonce is the queen bee and she's the best singer and blah, blah, blah. And I can't say that I necessarily agree with that, but I can say that she completely takes care of her voice, and her voice is growing with her very, very gracefully, and she's progressed in such a beautiful way, which many people who start singing professionally as a teenager are unable to do. So much respect, much props to Queen Bey. I think she is a great vocalist and definitely worth being respected for her vocal craft. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure you rate, comment, subscribe. I would love to hear your thoughts on Beyonce's voice and what you think about this video. God bless. Bye.